Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Beautiful sunny day in South Florida. I don't know where you're located, but hopefully you dodged the snow. Let's get started. Today's sponsor, Top Priority Care Services, one of our longtime clients, about 3 years now. Anyone interested in sponsorships? We have two different types. I won't go into that now. Contact us after the webinar and we'll give you all the information you need. Today's webinar, which will be recorded and posted on our website or YouTube, whichever one you want to go to quicker. It's easier to go to our website under the video section and click on whichever one you want to watch. And we appreciate you subscribing to our channel. Makes us look good. First of all, who am I? I'm a service-disabled veteran, the oldest GSA consultant alive. I don't know whether you count folks retired, but I've worked on the beta team and been doing this, seems like yesterday, going on 33 years in August. So I guess experience does matter. What can you expect today? I don't know how much any of you know about the various programs within the SBA and GSA as far as HUBZone and 8A and woman-owned and Native American-owned, which we're going to do a webinar on Native American-owned very quickly. We're going to define the HUBZone program, learn if you qualify, how to use it, and most importantly, maintain your certification. This is a very short webinar. It'll only be approximately 30 minutes unless you have that many questions that you make us go over, which I highly encourage. Thank you. And let's move on. Most people don't even know what HUBZone stands for, historically underutilized business zone, which doesn't really say a whole heck of a lot until we start getting into the rest of these slides. For those of you who are on their way to lunch, there's only 16 slides, so it won't take long at all. Feel free to drop your questions in anytime you want. I will do my best to answer them as they come in. Don't be shy. What's the HUBZone goal? Like most of the other programs that the SBA has, 3% of all contracting dollars are supposed to go to certified HUBZone companies. Along with that, you have woman-owned, 3.5%. Small business generic is 23%. And veteran-owned is 3%. Service-disabled veteran-owned is 3%. And Native American-owned is 3%. And if I've missed anything, feel free to drop it in the comments. What are the benefits? A couple different ways to go, and I'm going to discuss the generic program benefits taken directly from the SBA. Competition is limited in certain cases to HUBZone preferential treatment businesses. Like the 8A program, HUBZone also allows you to compete for their set-aside contracts. And for the record, I said that the webinar would be recorded and put up on our website. Also, all the links that are in these slides, which will be available right now if you want to download them. And if you go to your control panel, click View Handouts, you can pull program handouts that I've put up there for you. The links that are throughout these slides are all hot links directly to someplace. What I like about the HUBZone program is that if you're in an open market environment, you get a 10% price evaluation preference, which is nice. We as small businesses aren't the richest people in the world. I know I'm not. What do you need to qualify? Obviously, small business. 51% owned and controlled. You have to be a U.S. citizen or a Native American, Hawaiian organization, Indian tribe. Your principal office must be in a hub zone. If you click on that located in a hub zone link, it'll take you to the map. Find where you live, it'll tell you if you're a hub zone or not. Or I had one client that actually had to move about 12 miles to get into a hub zone, and he never looked back. 35% of your employees must be in the hub zone. Well, that's all great starting out. Here's a link to the HUBZone map for you. There is a certification process, but just remember, update your SAM to show that you're in a hub zone, or that you're woman-owned, or that you're Native American-owned. Whatever qualifications you have, please be sure to put them in your SAM record. That is of utmost importance, I should say. SAM has a new way to log in, their general login system. Those of you who have lived through the SAM debacle of last year understand how important it is to keep that record updated. You must. You must maintain your certification every 3 years. That's the good news. The bad news, if you undergo material change, ownership, structure, office, or your 35% drops below, you may not be eligible for the program anymore. How do you maintain the certification? Well, one way to lose it, the SBA just decides to show up and do a unannounced audit. All they want to do is make sure that you continue to maintain the requirements to stay in the program. Oh, we got a ton of questions here. Let me take a break. So all of the requirements need to be met, correct? Absolutely. You must maintain every one. Let's look at the next question here. How are part-time employees considered? For example, we have 2 part-time employees in a hub zone area to count the same as, and I'm trying to read on a smaller line, 1 full-time employee. To my knowledge, from what I've read and what I've been told, even though they're part-time, if they are a W-2 employee, then they qualify if they live in the hub zone area. So you should be okay there. Let's move on. What about GSA? I briefly touched that before. Once you're a hub zone, if you have updated your SAM record, please make sure you do an administrative modification to your GSA contract to make sure that you get HUBZone certified business added to your contract. Now, there are some folks, most of them are my clients. I have one that's Native American, woman, veteran, living in a hub zone. 4 incentives on her GSA contract. Oh, and she's adding 8A in the coming months. So there's 5, I think she's hit them all, 5 certifications. We have a new question, or do we? Got that one. Repeat question, we're good there. Any questions so far? I've only got a couple more slides to go. Like I said, it's going to be a very short webinar because all of the information you need is either in the slides for much more extensive reading and the handouts. And one of the handouts, by the way, and I keep getting this question on the website, people searching for HUBZone business list. I've included in your handouts 5,000 HUBZone certified businesses for your teaming, subbing, priming, whatever you want to do. They're yours. I got them the same place you can get them. I just happen to already have the links to be able to do it. So I've provided that for you, as well as a copy of the slides, which are hot linked. And I believe I also, let me see what I did for handouts here for you. I gave you the slides. I also gave you a printout of HUBZone opportunities from FedBizOps. And that was as of, what's today, Tuesday? That was as of either Sunday, I think it was Monday I did it. So you've got 3 handouts. The HUBZone NU slides, the HUBZone firms, and the opportunities on FedBizOps for HUBZone certified businesses. So hopefully that's some good free information to help you out. Let me see whose hands are raised. Who's got their hand raised? Alan, do you have a question? Or did I already answer your question? I'm looking at a different screen now. Kevin, let me see. You must have a question. Let me see what it is. Oh, there it is up there. Sorry, so there, Shelley, I answered your question. Do employees need to live in the same HUBZone as the company office? Yes. 35% of the employees must live in the HUBZone where the business is located. When that number drops, the company could lose their HUBZone certification. So the answer to your question is yes and no. As long as you're number 36%, you don't have to live there. As long as you keep it above 35%, we're fine. Let me see, we have another one. As a big business, sorry, Kevin. As a big business, how can I best work with HUBZone and other SBAs? Do you have a GSA contract, Kevin? Yes or no is fine. Or are you working on open market bidding, or how are you doing business with the government? Let me see where that is. Assuming you have a GSA contract, you can work with those companies, HUBZone companies, and they're going to probably have to be, even if you have a GSA contract, you can bring them on as subs. However, the easiest and best and most efficient way and profitable way is if the HUBZone company also has a GSA contract. Then you do a contractor teaming arrangement with them. And that way everybody maintains their rates, their profitability, and you can become the team leader. Hopefully that answers your question, Kevin. After submitting, this is from Adrian, after submitting all documents, how long does approval usually take? Excellent question. That's like asking me, after we submit your GSA application, how long does it take? And this is not a smart answer, as much as I love to be giving smart answers. With GSA, it can take anywhere from 30 to 120 days. I've had some take a year. If it's a VA contract, I had one go 2 years to get awarded. As far as HUBZone goes, it's pretty straightforward, assuming they don't decide to do a pre-award field audit. Typically, it should take about 30 to 60 days. I'm halfway guessing on that because I've talked with other folks that happened right away. Hopefully, when you do your application, it doesn't take forever. Mindy says, can't be a different hub. The hub is defined by where the business is physically located. If you have 2 locations, then technically you have 2 HUBZones. 1 certification, 2 HUBZones. Kevin, you have a GSA contract? Wonderful. How's that working out for you? Hopefully you're hitting your minimum sales, generating some business. And are you on your first or second year, or first or second base year, or your first renewal? That'll pretty much tell us where you're heading. Getting it going again for a long time of that's not good. Second renewal. Well, hopefully you got your 100,000 in that 5 years, and they usually notify you ahead of time, about 6 months, to begin the process, because that is a priority at GSA to extend, renew a contract. And for security, I won't share your sales number, but that's excellent. Not bad for every year. Let's see if we can double that this coming year. Any other questions, folks? I'm in a good mood today. Well, Kevin, I think I want to share this one. if you don't mind. During the last 6 years, actually 5 years, you did over 5 million in 1 year. What product or service are you offering? Fire alarm system and emergency communications. Anybody need to work with Kevin on this? We'll find a way to get you two together. All right. Oh, I'm going to have a hard time with this first name. Gunyan? Hopefully I said that right. If a company has 2 offices, both are located in HUBZone. Huh, good guess on my part. Thank you, sir. I didn't know how to handle the J. The company has 2 offices, both are located in HUBZones. One office is 100% and another is split. And how's the split considered? Well, if you've got 100% in one, how many do you have in the other, Gunya? I don't believe that SBA treats it as 2 separate certifications. Same company, same tax ID number, same DUNS number, same cage code. You just have a satellite office. But if I was the auditor, I would look at it as you're 100% in one. You have 10 residing in the other HUBZone. So between the two, and I don't know if you can average them, I would say, like I said, if I'm the auditor, I would look at this as you've got 110 employees spread across 2 HUBZones. Now, on its own, the one with 10 doesn't qualify, obviously. But contact me after. I'll do some research and see if I can get a definitive regulatory answer on that. That's excellent. Frequently asked question we may want to put in our questions on our website. Let me see what else I got here for you. I only got 2 slides left. Helpful links, and I'll give you a hint. The next slide is the contact slide. Those of you that have got the invitation already know how to reach out directly. You can go through the contact form, whatever, however you want to do it. Those of you who do not have any form of a contract and are killing yourself, this is a question for Kevin. Kevin, Natalie wants to know if the 2 of you can get contacted or get connected. And somebody, who else did I want to? Well, let's put it this way. Let's make it easy. If any of you would like to meet each other, just let me know in the comments, and I will pass along the 2 information. Well, Kevin just gave his email address. Kevin, can I put that out to the world? Since you appear to be a superstar. Okay. All right, let me grab that. And I'll copy that, and I'll send this to all. This is Kevin's email address for those of you who would like to do some work with him. I just sent it out to all. So Natalie, you have it. Where was I? Oh, yes. Those of you that do not have either of the 2 contracts that I always discuss, click on the link in your slides or go right to the website and see if you qualify. If you need help getting it done, we're here to help. If you want to know about Experience Matters, I've actually lost a little bit more weight than the About Us page, so it's roughly the same ugly mug at my age. We have 2 more webinars coming up, and I'm going to add the Native American probably later today, so keep checking back on the site. And I think we'll put a subscribe link in so those folks that want to know about when there's a new webinar and our videos, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right. Kevin is saying that government sales is his territory. So those of you who want to pick his brain, and I hate to do that to you, Kevin, but hey, that's what it's all about, relationship marketing. As long as everybody's happy talking to everybody, then everybody ends up helping folks and making money in that order. I have a question for everyone. We're contemplating putting together a matching database. Now, a lot of people have tried to do it, but we've got a prototype that we've been playing with. For example, right here with folks that want to contact Kevin. My question is that something that would be useful to the community? Yes or no works. And is it also something that, what kind of value could we add to it or apply to it to make it worthwhile to cover the hosting and maintenance and everything else? I'm not here to become rich. I gave that up many, many years ago before I turned 60. That's right, I'm old. I'll be 68 in July. And no, I'm not telling you what day. You can go on LinkedIn or Facebook and find out. We don't know whether to make it a one-time fee, a free section, a paid section, a members only section. Barry, your name looks very familiar, Barry, but my guess is you're probably a day older than I am. And for the record, Robin Williams was a day younger than me, which kind of scared me when I heard of his passing on. My goodness, Barry, I'm not going to share that one. He's well over 1 year older than me. So keep trucking on, my friend. You're only as young as we feel. And it's one of the reasons I moved to Florida 15 years ago. Any more questions, folks? Don't be shy. Here's another question. What would you like to see as an upcoming webinar topic? And I try to keep every one of them 30 minutes. Well, that's in our plans, and that's in our plans, and we're good to go there. Anyway, I have 4 minutes left, folks. Let me move on. We're done with the slide portion. I'll hang around as long as you need to answer any questions you may come up with. And if you have any questions afterwards, here's a good question from Alan. Alan, if you downloaded your slides, go to the link that shows the HUBZone map. And I hate to admit it, but that is something I just don't know off the top of my head. Does anybody know if Fremont, California, or surrounding falls in a HUBZone? My guess would be no, because that's pretty much Silicon Valley. Fremont, Milpitas, that whole area. Well, Barry comes right back and says it does. So, Alan, you're on board, my friend. Find out exactly where your office is located and make sure in that area that that community falls in a HUBZone, which I find hard to believe anywhere in California is a HUBZone, but I guess there are. Exact location is needed. And what if I don't have any employees? Well, are you an employee of your company? If you're an employee of your company, that's 100% employee. Are you a W-2 or how are you? That's between us two when you answer. If you're the owner and you're the only employee, that's 100%. You qualify. Even if you add one that's not, that takes you to 50%. So I think you can see the math from here. It's in good shape. Any other questions? Ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate you joining us today. And this has probably been one of the more interactive webcasts we've done. And with a little bit of luck, I'll have the video up later today. Everybody take a moment, pull your handouts down. And I always get emails afterwards that says I couldn't get them. Can you send them to me? I'll have to create a link on our website if you, for whatever reason, can't pull them, which you should be able to, under View, Handouts, and just click download, grab them. And as soon as I end this, you should be getting a poll, one question, 5 stars, your choice. How do I access the handouts? Martin asks. Martin, on your dashboard, click on View at the top. Make sure that Handouts is checked. Then underneath, you'll see the handout section. Just click on all 3 one at a time and download them. You're good to go. If you have any problem with that, contact me after, and I'll do a link so that everybody can get them again if they need them. Unfortunately, they don't tell you all this when you first log into the GoToWebinar app. So if there are no other questions, I will be ending the webinar, and I do appreciate everyone showing up today. Just remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Keep checking the webinar schedule. Next week is to bid or not to bid. That is the question. And the 21st, we'll have a customer on with us that talks about capability statements, which is something you must have. If you don't have one, please go register for this webinar, because we're going to give you a sample, live sample capability statement from Top Priority, that's today's sponsor, that you can plagiarize and make it your own. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week.